It is important for us to know how to multiply and divide by powers of 10. This will help us with other calculations that we do referring to other work. Now, if we multiply 4 by 10, we get 40. If we multiply 4 by 100, we get 400. If we multiply 4 by 1000, we get 4000. And we can see a pattern emerging here. When we multiply by 10, we add a 0 onto the end of our number. Multiply by 100, we add 2 zeros onto our number. If we multiply by 1000, we then add a further 0, so 3 zeros to the end of our number. If we look at a different example of this, if we look at a decimal number, 3.12, for this example we'll call it 3.120. Now if we multiply by 10, we get 31.20. If we multiply by 100, we get 312.0. And if we multiply 3.120 by 1000, we get 3120.0. Again, we can see a pattern emerging here. If we look further into what is happening with this, if we take 3.120 times 10, we can see that the decimal point is after the 3 to begin with. If we multiply that by 10, the decimal jumps from here to here behind the 1, so that becomes 3120. If again we look at 3.120 and multiply it by 100, the decimal jumps from behind the 3 2 spaces to here behind the 2, so 312. And again, if we look at 3.120 and multiply it by 1000, the decimal point is jumping from behind the 3 spaces to behind the 0, and it gives us 3120. Now this is what happens, this is what we can visualize when we're multiplying by 10, 100 or 1000. Going the opposite way, if we are dividing by 10, 100 or 1000, for example, if we take our end result there, 3120, and we divide by 10, the decimal jumps from the 0, it jumps one space to the left to become 312. And again, if we do 3120 divided by 100, the decimal will go from behind the 0 and jump 2 spaces to the left to be in between the 1 and the 2 to give us 31.2. And lastly, if we take 3120 and divide it by 1000, the decimal jumps from behind the 0 3 spaces to the left to in front of the 3. So that's 3.120, and we've got back to the number we originally started with. This will help with further calculations, and it's good to know that we can hop over either to the right if we're multiplying by 10 or 100 or 1000 or bigger numbers, bigger powers of 10, or when we're dividing we can hop the decimal to the left by if we're dividing by 10, 100, 1000 or bigger powers of 10 as well. Now I hope this has helped and you know a little bit more about multiplying and dividing by powers of 10.
Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.